Hi, I'm Bobbie Adams, Office Manager for 88.3 WCQR. Last November, right after Thanksgiving, I discovered a knot under my arm. A couple weeks went by, hoping it would go away on its own. When it didn't, I made an appointment with my doctor. After a checkup, it was decided that it would be best for me to have further testing. Another couple weeks passed, and I went for a mammogram and an ultrasound. Sure enough, there was something there. I could see it myself. Being unsure of what it was, the doctor put me on 2 rounds of antibiotics in hopes that it was a simple infection. 2 more weeks went by, and the knot was still there, and I was now having some pain. A biopsy was scheduled, and I had the biopsy, but would need to wait for the results. So yet another couple of weeks went by, just waiting. I remember sitting in the quiet room with my husband when the doctor came in. The doctor held my hand as he gave me the news. Metastatic melanoma. I just sat in disbelief. I couldn't talk. I couldn't cry. I couldn't breathe. Just disbelief. The doctor said it would have been better if I had breast cancer. At least there would have been some kind of hope. And my heart just sank. My husband began to grasp for words, and all he could say is, "My God is bigger." And I remember that vividly. We left the doctor's office and just sat in the car and cried. Then came telling everyone. My mama, my sister, my son, my best friend. The news traveled fast. We had friends show up to comfort us. Our pastor, who was in the Philippines at the time on a mission trip, he even called to pray with us. It was just surreal. This just could not be happening. It was truly like being in a dream, actually a nightmare. I was referred to an oncologist that had opened an office in the area just that last summer, and I recognized the name. They had been business partners of ours at 88.3. I thought that was pretty cool. From there, all the tests were scheduled and a plan for treatment was formed. We insisted on getting a second opinion from Vanderbilt Hospital, knowing that they are a leading research hospital. On the way to Vanderbilt, a friend from church sent us the lyrics and a video to Waymaker. Wow, that just really moved my heart. After returning from Vanderbilt with no better information or options, the test started. First the blood work, an MRI. Labs came back great. The MRI showed no signs of melanoma on the brain. Praise the Lord. The PET scan was a bit more frustrating. It was scheduled and canceled 3 times before I actually got to have it. More waiting. During the process of having all the tests, my oncologist referred me to the surgeon. Thinking that I knew what was best for me, I asked if I could choose my own surgeon. My oncologist said, of course, that I could, but that the surgeon that he had suggested that I go to had practiced at the #1 cancer hospital in the United States. And I didn't think that was a coincidence. So of course, that's the route we chose. However, the oncologist informed us that it may take up to a month to get in to see this surgeon. And we just didn't have that kind of time. More waiting. That Sunday, I remember sitting beside my husband in church. As the worship team sang, we could feel God move. They sang songs that we had heard several times on 88.3. they sang, "Yes, I Will." And I remember looking at my husband with his hands raised high and tears pouring down his cheeks. And I couldn't hold back. The worship team began to sing Waymaker. I was gone. Up to the altar I went, my husband right behind me, and I was a mess. But it was at that moment that I just knew that God had me. He had all of this. I remember pouring out my heart, not to request healing, but just in praise. That was my "Yes, I Will" moment. Since that moment, I have seen God working all things out. That very morning, a lady approached me at church, and she said she knew that I was trying to get in to see the surgeon because she works there. I had no idea. But that very week, I had an appointment to see the surgeon. No more waiting. That next week, I was able to finally have my PET scan, and guess what? It showed that the tumor was isolated to one place. It had not spread. It was time for surgery. No more waiting. Since surgery, I've had a port placed and 4 treatments. 22 more to go. God has been and continues to be so very good to me. He will not fail me. He's working all things out. Even in the lowest valley, when my heart is heavy, all my days, yes, I will.